formal mission of U equals me is stated as a movement of conscientious objectors to intolerance, or simply stated, a movement against intolerance. And the exploration of that statement really gets to what are the similarities between people? What do we all have in common? Why are we really equal as humankind? And that's what we're going to explore.
This podcast is about exploring conversational thoughts and interviews with extraordinary people living ordinary lives of well-being. Discussions on exactly what well-being means to people day to day, factors that can influence it both internally and externally. We glean insights on how to survive and thrive in feeling satisfied in life with a greater sense of purpose. Guest hosts bring fresh new outlooks and opinions from spirituality, science, worldviews, and standing up and speaking out for what's right.
It's pretty interesting. Man needs each other and planet Earth to survive. Check it out. I think you'll like what you hear.
Hello and welcome to our U equals me podcast. We are so grateful for the support we've had around the world from you, our listeners. My name is Cindy Jarvis, your host today, and the inspiration behind the U equals me Foundation. U equals me is a global nonprofit, bridging race, religions, cultures, and genders in supporting the education of inclusion, equity, and diversity for a richer, more fulfilling life experience on this planet. We know that education can transform lives and communities forever for the enhancement of its people. It's been our experience that traveling around the world is one of the best educations you can obtain. When you witness the lives of others in different cultures, you gain a respect that you would not have access to in a book, which is why I want to share this documentary series with you. We want to introduce you to the documentary film Time of the Sixth Sun. It is a docu-movie featuring indigenous elders, wisdom keepers, and visionary thought leaders sharing their knowledge and teachings as you go on an inspiring global cinematic journey, offering great insights to the incredible changes happening on our planet at this time. That initial question, who am I, leads us to the awakening process as we look around at the chaos, thinking, there has to be another way. Then we look inside to find aspects of our own internal chaos, which leads to change. But change will always bring up what we don't necessarily want to look at as we discover our shadow side, and so starts the journey within. A process of purification as we let go of fears, conditioning, old programs, using ritual ceremony and ways of the indigenous. Descending from the mind to the heart space, we attend elders' gatherings who teach us that visioning and dreaming come from the heart space, and this dreaming will create a vision for a new earth, where we will learn to tread more lightly on earth, whilst claiming and celebrating our sovereignty as we as a species ascend to a higher level of collective consciousness. The movie stars Estes Tone, a troubadour on his own journey of enlightenment, challenged by the trickster, played by Peter Moore, guided by spirit channeled through Jeffrey Hoppe, and introduced by actress Greta Scacchi, with original music composed by Charlie Roscoe and featuring the music of Estes Tone and 11 other artists. The movie is accompanied by an 8-part documentary series. Both are available to view online for free for a limited time by registering at timeofsixsun.com. We'll have this located in the show notes with a hyperlink. Prophecy. Native American prophecy states, when the earth has been ravaged and the animals are dying, a tribe of people from all races, creeds, and colors will put their faith in deeds, not words, to make the land green again. We'd like to invite you on a beautiful journey that answers many questions about the biggest changes happening on our planet right now. Filmed in 16 countries, director and producer Nikki Williams interviewed indigenous elders, wisdom keepers, and visionary thought leaders sharing their knowledge and teachings. A great awakening is taking place. Learn the reasons behind this monumental shift in consciousness. We have permission from director Nikki Williams and Theo Van Dort to share some of this audio with you. The link is in the show notes again for you to watch this documentary. Thank you so much for a few responses on the movie. Thank you so much for creating this masterpiece. The most heart-touching movie I've ever seen. So authentic, full of joy. Another viewer writes, the movie was breathtaking. I've enjoyed every second of every episode, and the last episode caused tears to roll down my face. I have known for the last 10 years there's still something for me to do before I leave. Is this it? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another viewer, I've been sharing this life-changing documentary with so many people. Thank you for creating and sharing this. It's absolutely outstanding.
A Cree Indian prophecy states, when the earth has been ravaged and the animals are dying, a tribe of people from all races, creeds, and colors will put their faith in deeds, not words, to make the land green again. Millions of people are awakening. Many are answering the call, and these rainbow warriors are now spreading a message of unity across the globe. A new heart-based culture is starting to reveal itself. The shift has begun. Our ancestors understood our symbiotic relationship to nature and the elements and foresaw the collapse of an unsustainable world. The voice of the collective is our guide and storyteller, and the world's wisdom keepers share their sacred transmissions.
It is time to remember who you are, why you are here, at this time of the greatest change ever.
The Kundalini of the earth now is emitting the new cycle, the new vibration.
This three-dimensional time is so quickly passing.
It is now up to you. The ones who are awakening, the ones who will help to create the new earth. The ones who will expand their consciousness.
When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace.
We have to, as embodied beings, step to the next level of collective consciousness.
The grandmothers now that must be the ones that take these children and hold their hand and walk them over the bridge.
She speaks through the heart. She speaks through our bones and our flesh.
And she cries, I am that I am.
You're witnessing the birth of new energy and new consciousness. You're hearing the call of the elders and the indigenous ones to accept your own sovereignty, to accept your own independence.
How do you live a divine life and be human at the same time?
Let the mind expand and open.
When they do these ceremonies, they're dreaming a new world.
Continuing to hold the dream and the vision of the new earth, a new earth that is coming.
As I think and speak and act and intend, so shall it be.
Wow. So we all need to start collectively dreaming of paradise.
And as we dream, we find the visions to dream ourselves into a much more awakened state of being.
It's time to wake up and realize whether you're the dreamer or the dreamed.
Follow your heart.
Know truth. Be truth.
So what will you dream tonight? And will you act on it tomorrow? Our future is in your hands.
I really loved the messages in this film. The production, the music is incredible. I found this quote somewhere in my search, and I don't know who the author is, but The quote is this: "The single biggest thing I learned from an indigenous elder of Cherokee descent, Stan Rushworth, who reminded me of the difference between the Western settler mindset of I have rights and the indigenous mindset of I have obligations. Instead of thinking that I am born with rights, I choose to think I am born with obligations to serve past, present, and future generations, and for the planet herself." So, that is pretty intense. I want to talk about this for a second. So what is the sixth sun? Apparently, in the Mayan beliefs, a 26,000-year-old galactic cycle has ended, the completion of a cosmological age that the Mayans called the Palladian cycle. During this cycle, our ancestors lived through 5 epochs, 5 suns, each lasting 5,200 years. So now we're living in the time of the sixth sun. Well, what this means is a breaking up of old patterns and beliefs from third-dimensional materialism and external control to movement into interdimensional realms, a time where everything that had been hidden would come to light. According to the prophecies, humanity would be facing its underworlds, its collective unconsciousness, and all the unresolved issues stored there, particularly in the years 2020 and 2021, which would be the most challenging ones. In other words, it's about us now. The sixth sun has risen. The new world has come into being. This right now is the time of creation when anything is possible. I just think this is fascinating. I just want to share a little bit about what I've learned. In the wisdom traditions of Toltec and Aztec, suns tend to be patriarchal. Masculine forces are in control and often repressing feminine forces, so the energies are imbalanced. One of the ways in which this manifests is through the imbalance in one of the most important feminine forces, Mother Earth, in the form of viruses and bacteria. The important thing to note here is during this time of transition, we should not be deceived by illusions or fall into the trap of fear and collective suffering. We are not powerless. It is how we meet our inner work that will determine how we come through this transition. This is a spiritual awakening, but today we understand that the same ancient knowledge can be used to help us stay healthy and move into a new way of being, a new cycle. The treasure here is not gold, but knowledge. As individuals, we must play our part in the transition to the sixth sun, to activate the fire of knowledge, the ancient fire, to illuminate the dark times we're living in around the globe.
Fruit of the rose, what you planted in your own consciousness long before you ever came to Earth. A reminder when the time was right that you would awaken.
We know you'll be inspired by the time of the sixth sun and sharing this ancient and hidden wisdom with the world. Please share this podcast so we can bring more people to viewing the film. As Ram Dass says, we're all just walking each other home. Thanks for listening, and important links in the show notes to give you access to this fantastic film. Alrighty, good day. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I'm so inspired by the ancient wisdom, and I hope you will be too. It's a phenomenal film, and we hope you share it with family and friends. You can find us at u=me.org, and if you would like a complimentary copy of our ebook, Wisdom Along the Way, you can join our One Worlders email list at u=me.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. If you would like to support the U Equals Me Foundation with our logo wear, you can find it at U Equals Me Etsy store, all one word in your Google search. Stay tuned and subscribe. We've got some great content coming up. Bye for now.